Hey everybody, Coach Jason here again from Top of the Line Running. Hope you're all doing well. So if you haven't seen my last video, I talked about my favorite workouts for the 800. Now I'm going to go over my favorite workouts for the 1500 and the mile. Then we're going to go to 3K, 5K, 10K, half marathon and marathon, and then we're going to go to milestone workouts after that. So I've got a mountain of good content for you. When I say milestone workouts, I mean workouts for a sub 5 minute mile, for a sub 2 minute 800, for a sub 21 minute 5K, and so on. And to something that you'd like for me to do, particularly milestones, leave me in the comment. And if you're a runner or coach and for some reason you're not sub to this channel, please hit that sub button before you leave. And please hit the notification button too. That way, when I go live, you know when I go live. When I put out content, you'll be in the front of the line to get it. Okay, and I thank you so much for it. I'm trying to get to 4,000 subs before the end of the summer. Your support's greatly appreciated. So with that said, we're going to talk about my favorite workouts again, 1500 and the mile. And these are workouts that I've not only used on myself as a former competitive runner, but a lot of my athletes as well. Whether they're distance runners stepping down from the mile, half mile is stepping up to the mile, and so on. Okay. They both matter. Okay. But this is an opportunity for them to interchangeably work together too. Okay. And keep in mind, remember, I always say this: a good warm up, drills and strides, and then a transitional piece. What I mean by that, either a tempo rep, one of them, 800 meters to 1K. Some folks want a mile, that's fine. And then you take a 4 to 5 minute active recovery. That helps elevate your heart rate, get you ready to transition into the more intense part of the workout, especially if it's short, fast stuff. This is a good way of getting you ready for it. Okay. On the flip side, if you're doing a tempo run, threshold, and stuff at sustained pace for an extended period of time, then 2 to 3 times the 200 should be your transitional piece. Okay, after the warm-up drills and strides, 2 to 3 times the 200 with a 200-meter jog recovery at the goal pace of your workout. So let's just say you're looking to run whatever, 6 times 1,000 today in 3 minutes, right? And you're looking to run 35 to 36 for the 200s. Okay, or if you're looking to run whatever, 4 times or 6 times 800 in 4 minutes. And then you're running them at 59.60 for the 200, and so on. That helps you find the pace before the workout starts. So you're not having to use part of the workout to find it. Okay, putting you in a position to maximize the volume of the workout, the full volume at the goal pace you're looking to run it at. This to me is a secret weapon that not a lot of coaches use, which is why I'm one to share with you. I hope that you consider utilizing as a coach. This is where coaching with the eye is so important. This is where you can really put yourself a step ahead of the game, put your athletes a step ahead of the game. Okay. So with that said, let's get to some of my favorite workouts. Okay. Number one, this is actually a workout that I did when I ran this workout. Let me explain it to you first. Okay. You want to drill strides. You do a couple, you can either do some 200s here at mile pace, or you can do a tempo effort of 800, 1K a mile, whichever one you prefer. Or sometimes both folks will do an 800-meter tempo rep and then a one fast 200, two fast 200s, or 150s at the goal pace. That's fine too. Okay. This workout here is 800, 600, 400, 300. That's the whole workout. Okay. The 800-meter rep is done at your current mile pace. The 600-meter rep is done at your goal mile pace. 400-meter rep, current 800-meter pace. 300-meter rep, goal 800-meter pace. Okay. And if you're a distance runner, 3-minute recovery after each rep. If you're a middle distance runner, 4-minute recovery after each rep. Okay. You can even add some progression 150s on the back end of this if you'd like, but you don't have to. When I did this workout, and I kid you not, I ran a 2-minute for the 800, 127 for the 6, 54 for the 4, and 39 for the 3. And I parlayed my cross country fitness right after nationals, NCAA cross country. That was the first workout I did for indoor track to get an indoor qualifier. I'll never forget it. That was the best workout I've ever, probably the best workout I've ever done. Okay, but this is a great workout to give, whether you're running the mile, the 3K, the 5K. It gives you a good idea of how sharp you are and how fit you are at the same time. Okay, so again, it's 8, 6, 4, 3. And with a 3-minute recovery. If you're a distance runner stepping down to the mile, if you're a 4-minute recovery, if you're a half mile stepping up to the mile. Workout 2, 5 times a 500 with a 90-second recovery at your goal mile pace. Okay, and you can even progress from your current to your goal mile pace. So, but this is 2,500 miles, basically a mile and a half worth of volume at mile pace. If you can get to the point where you do 2 miles worth of volume, so let's just say 6 times the 500 with the same recovery at mile pace, then you're in really good shape. So 5 to 6 is fine. But 5 is a sweet spot here. Okay, that's workout 2. Workout 3 is your tempo run or your threshold reps. So you're building towards a 20 to 25 minute tempo run. I said this in my last video too. If you're going to look at any one of my videos, take a look at, please, on this channel, how to build your tempo run incrementally up to 20 to 25 minutes rather than going out there thinking you have to do it right away. Okay. This gives you an opportunity to build it piece by piece, allow yourself or your athletes time to adapt, and get you to the point where you can run the tempo run at where you want to run it at and not have to worry about slowing down and rigging, because it does happen when people aren't ready to run the distance. So 20 to 25-minute tempo or threshold reps, either 7 to 8 times 800 meters, which is 4 miles worth of volume, or 6 to 8 times 1K, or 1,200 meters times 5 or 6 reps, or 4 to 5 times 1,600, 4 to 5 times a mile. You take a minute recovery after the 800s and the thousands, a minute to 75 seconds after the 1,200, 75 seconds recovery at for the 1,600 reps. Okay, but again, this is at threshold pace. Your tempo run pace is essentially half marathon pace. This particular tempo is considered an anaerobic threshold tempo run. Okay, the aerobic threshold is the longer one, which is 30 to 60 minutes. That's at marathon pace. Okay. But this particular one here is at half marathon pace, sustained hard running. It also teaches you how to stay focused for an extended period of time, helps build physical toughness, mental toughness. It accomplishes a lot of things. But it's also a very, very paramount part of training that should not be ignored, no matter what time of season you're in. Doesn't matter if it's cross country or track, tempo runs are good to do all year round. So are threshold reps. How to incorporate them into your training is another thing. Okay. That's why I give my email, blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. Blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. That's my email address. If you have questions about this, you want to figure out how to build this into your training, you want to break down and build a training plan from scratch, or use one of my training plans on my videos, which I have fully detailed. We can do anything you want. Okay, so if you need help in that regard, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Back to the workouts. So you get your tempos or your threshold reps. And then you take a 5-minute recovery after either the tempo or the last threshold rep. Okay. Then on the back end, you'd either do 6 times a 200 or 4 times a 300 with the 1 minute recovery at goal mile pace. Okay. Why are we doing it at the end? To teach your body how to accelerate when it's already fatigued. You're running a tempo, your leg's going to be tired. You're running threshold reps, your leg's going to be tired. And then accelerating on the back end helps simulate the end of a mile race when the when the bear jumps on our back. Okay. So that's workout 3. These are your continued efforts there, or efforts with very short recovery. Great way to run fast. Next up, VO2 max training. No less complimentary. Absolutely critical. If you can combine VO2 max training, which is essentially stuff at 5K pace and 3K pace, with threshold and tempo, with stuff at mile pace or 800-meter pace, yeah, the more well-rounded training program you have, the more dangerous you're going to be as a runner. Just come to keep in mind. Okay. But VO2 max training here for your 1,500 milers, you're building towards 5 to 6 times an 800 at 3K pace with an equal jog recovery. So if you're running the 800s in, let's just say 3 minutes, you take a 3-minute recovery, and so on. Or 4 to 5 times 1,000 meters, same equal jog recovery. So if you run them in 3:30, you take a 3:30 rest at 3K to 5K pace. Or 4 to 5 times 1,200, the same equal jog recovery. You run them in 4 minutes, you take 4 minutes, and so on at 5K pace. And lastly, 3 to 4 times 1,600, same equal jog recovery. So if you run them in 5 minutes, you take 5 minutes rest. Okay, at 5K pace. Okay, and again, this is a very, very integral part of training. If you have VO2 max training in there with tempo and threshold, and then you have your race pace stuff all spanned out within a span of a 2 to 3 week training cycle, or you're going to be dangerous, or your athletes are going to be dangerous. Okay, but I wanted to share these workouts with you because I've used a lot of these with success with a lot of my athletes. Okay, and these are my favorites. Give me an idea what your favorites are if you don't mind sharing. But this is also why I do live streams, so I can get to know you as coaches, right? If you have a question, sometimes that turns into 5. But it gives me a chance again to get to know you and ask you questions. Like I said too, I said this a lot in my videos recently. Not only am I a former competitor runner and a coach of the last 2 decades, but I'm also a longtime martial artist and a practitioner and instructor. And one of the things that is important to recognize and acknowledge is even as instructors, we never stop learning from our students. We never stop being students. Same thing applies to coaching. Okay. You know your body better than I do. If you're an athlete, you're a coach, you know your athlete's bodies better than I do. Okay. How can we plug in the training to make it appropriate for your athletes, for you? That's where coaching with the eye comes into play, communication, right? Looking, mapping down, looking and seeing what works, taking notes. The things that I say on a regular basis are the things that I always go back to because they're critical. They're going to make you better. Okay. And I'm here to help facilitate that even further. So that's what I got to you for you today. My favorite workouts for 1500 in the mile. Next up, my favorite workouts for the 3K and 2 mile. Stay tuned. Talk to you next time.